something.
Hey. Yeah, I see him moving.
See me moving?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, world.
That's okay. You can just click on my name right there.
This one
Hold
right
on. Yeah, you got it on the Lutonya line. Ah, it's on the fan page. It say live. So we can just leave it. Let me see. So it's just on the wrong one. I'm inviting everybody.
What?
30 seconds.
Okay, baby.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
So you sign into your page.
No, when you arrow down and you click Lutonya Lane, that's when it went into the Lutonya Lane fan page. I think if we would have selected it, then it would have went into. Okay, Joe, you ready?
I'm ready, yeah. Sorry. Work.
Which camera you want me on first? This one?
That's one you said you wanted to
Do the opening. I didn't even have to have any cue cards today. I was like, look, we already know.
Lord Jesus.
Man, we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk
Okay.
about faith. And
Okay.
we're definitely going to talk about the future, you know,
Okay.
Joe Global Entertainment, everything coming back on track.
Okay.
So it's good to see you.
It's good to be seen, man. I haven't seen you in so long, like a week or so.
I think the last time that we saw each other, it wasn't the black and white ball that caused us to get reconnected. But
yeah.
It was at, what was that? Erica Campbell came in for Centuries.
American Heart Association.
Yeah.
Big gospel thing. It's amazing. Century, shout out Century.
Yes.
Martin, who put that together, and I'll be working with her this time for one next year. So we're putting together some big stuff. So make sure you get hooked up with that.
Speaking of hooked up, look, I was rubbing my hands. I was like, yeah, we ready. Didn't even have no cue cards. But I want to just start off with, how you even got into entertainment. Like, what was that journey like for you, even getting into entertainment?
So when I was about 10 years old, maybe about 8 to 10 years old, I worked with this program. I'm from Cabrini Green area.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with this program called the Jesse White Tumbling Team.
Mm-hmm.
That program took me all over the world. I traveled to everywhere, the White House to Korea. I've been to every basketball game facility in the country. And that kind of got me used to being around crowds. When I got in high school, I got like super duper popular for some reason, don't know why. And I started a high school fraternity called L5P at Lincoln Park. We started with 5 guys. In a year, we had 500 people.
Wow.
And so I decided to do a party. With them, and the party actually went crazy. I put up a couple $100. I ended up making $7,000 on throwing a party, charging $10.
Loan me $5.
Right, I got it. And after that, that just happened, and I found out that with the gift of influence God gave me, and people wanting to be around certain environments, I learned the business, and it started me getting into it.
Definitely, and you have been just developing and growing and growing and growing.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to faith. You know, of course, faith is the beginning of everything. It's the ending of all. How was it like being able to captivate your faith in what you was doing as well?
You know, I'm a church boy through and through. You know, I think that once I get a nice, beautiful wife and some other things, I think I might want to be a preacher. Honestly, really? That's probably like my serious goal in life, is to really get my life together, stop cursing and start preaching. And
look, we can go on a profanity fast together.
I swear, man, I swear. I'm like 75% delivered. You know, I got 25% to work on, but I think that's what I really want to do. But you know, faith is a real strong part of my life, and it's hard because everything I mostly do in entertainment is in the secular world. And so I'm a church boy. I serve my pastor as his lead armor bearer. I work with Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship as the leader and the director of protocol and armor bearers for them. And then I'll leave that and then go do a concert with Profanity. And so it's putting those two different dichotomies together and making them work is the tough part. But truth is, my bishop, the people I work with, the people I work for, they all understand that that's part of my life. So
well, it's a light, you know, too. Your light shines in darkness. I remember.
Got light.
Yeah, you got light.
Right.
Even dark skin, you got light. Yeah, you got light. What is it? Feet got light.
Yeah.
You definitely have light. But you know, that's just like when Jesus was going, you know, and he was moving. It was people that he touched, and they not necessarily, you know, had their life together. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to tap into that area too.
The problem with what happened with the black church and church in general is that we got so relegated by the 4 walls of church, and everything had to start and end inside the church. And we didn't understand that ministry is not just preaching from a pulpit or even talking about Jesus. It's the way you love people, the way you treat people, you know, the love of God being in your heart, and that ministry will protrude from you, and you'll be able to minister the word without even saying a word.
Come on,
if the love of God is in your heart. and so that's how I try to live my life. That's why I try to, you know everybody's name, speak to everybody. I'm kind to everybody. You know, I treat everybody the same.
Until they start acting ratchet.
And then the other part of me come out.
Right.
Then the Joe G from the Greens come out.
Look,
Right.
I saw your post. Of course, you know, I follow you. I'm a proud supporter.
Thank you.
And I follow you, and I was like, Joe just is authentically who he is. And I have this thing about being bold, being fearless, and being authentically you. And you just, you know, from walking, you know, you're walking, exercising, you know, you're talking about relationships, and it was a very public relationship that you had. Tell us about that and how, you know, that even got started, because I know that with you being in the industry, you know, having a public relationship, it can cause other issues. So, you know, you talked about relationships, so let's tap on in.
You know, I had a breakup recently. I was dating a young lady by the name of Lexi. She's a gospel singer, TV host, and YouTube extraordinaire. And you know, the truth is, it was not a really good breakup, but she was really dope and really a good person. It just didn't fit for us to be together and get married. But you know, I don't care what I get into. I'm single now, but if I get into a relationship, I get married, I'll always honor her, because when I went through some tough times, it was her that kept me alive. It was her that kept me encouraged. It was her that bought them lawyers. It was her that, flew in for visits. And, I asked the people get mad at me because I honor her, but, it is what it is. I mean, it's just the truth.
Right.
I mean, she invested not just her money, but her time and her energy, and I'll always honor her and respect her for that. And, always go get her music. Lexi, she's dope. Go on YouTube, Lexi Television, support her stuff. She's super dope. So, even though, we had a tough breakup, man, I'm always going to love her, always going to respect her and honor her. So, but that public breakup was crazy because we got so known in the gospel industry and in the world of just us being this wonderful, funny couple. Our periscopes we did together, our classics, some of the funny stuff we did together. We wrote some of her funny videos, Holy Ghost Enforcers, some of her stuff together, and it was a tough breakup because the world was like, what's going on? I run into gospel artists. Marvin Sapp was like, Joe, what happened? And William Murphy was laughing at me, and Bishop Morton last night asked him. It's tough because it was public, and it was in the industry that I work in, and she's a celebrity. I'm just some Chicago dude, but it was just a tough breakup.
You're so much more than just that Chicago dude. You downplaying it. It's understood.
But it's just what it is. She got her own fame, and I just honor what we had, and I don't regret anything. I just I just know that the truth is that that's probably not what God had for either one of us. So God bless her on all her endeavors, and that's what it is. I mean, I'm not bitter. I'm not hurt. I'm just.
Yeah, you just Joe.
I'm just Joe.
Now, speaking of the toughest times in your life, I know for 1 minute I was seeing you everywhere, and then all of a sudden you was gone. What happened?
I was in jail. I went to a whole jail. I'm from the projects. I was in gangs. I sold a little drugs. I did some other things, and I never caught a case, never got in trouble. I waited till I got 36 years old, and I caught a case. I used to own a mortgage company, one of the biggest companies in Chicago. Man, God had really blessed me, but I was getting so many deals in, and it was like the time where everybody was just doing a bunch of fraud and all this other stuff, and somebody brought a fraud file to my desk. I was doing so many deals that I was just signing off on stuff and getting it done and rushing, and the deal was 100% fraud. Mm-hmm. And so when it came down to it, it was like, and really, I don't want to get into the specifics of the case, but it ended up happening that one of the supposed victims were friends with a Cook County prosecutor, and the prosecutors just did whatever he wanted them to do, and they found me guilty of a Class X felony, aggravated mortgage fraud over $1 million, and it is a Class X felony that you can get 30 years for. Now think about this: 35-year-old guy. Yeah, I'm a street dude, but I'm a church boy now, and I get locked up in the middle of my whole career, in the middle of my whole life. I mean, literally leaving the Airy Crown, booking Tyrese. I did a big show with Tyrese, and months later I was in jail, in Cook County Jail. But I went to trial, jury of 12, and they found me guilty. Literally, the guy I was on the case with, he got found innocent. I got found guilty.
How did that happen, though?
The truth is, I had horrible lawyers who didn't really look at my case. I paid them a lot of money, and they didn't look at my case for real. And I was telling them what the holes were, and they just didn't pay attention to it, and they did it. And so I got locked up, and I was locked up waiting for my time for them to sentence me to up to 30 years in jail.
Wow.
And my lawyer, my ex-girlfriend Lexi, hired me a new lawyer in literally in hours after I got found guilty. A guy by the name of Stephen Greenberg, who's one of the best lawyers in Chicago, and he filed for a motion for a new trial. Now listen, in Illinois and Cook County, a motion for a new trial is denied 99.5% of the time.
Wow.
And he filed for this thing, went in, found all these holes, listened to me, what I was telling him over the phone, and literally got my case overturned.
Wow.
Where God really overturned it 0.5%, like it was like impossible for it to happen. And he was like, we need one more thing. And I was like, I ain't got nothing else. He said, we need one more thing to get this thing turned around. We got to court, and the prosecutor started telling on themselves,
wow.
Yeah, we knew this was going on, we knew that was going on. And the judge said, oh, new trial.
Wow.
And so they flipped the whole thing out, and I'm free.
Turned it, wow.
Yeah, he turned
I know
it,
that
yeah.
that was hard on your daughter. You have a beautiful daughter.
My
You're
God.
always joking.
My
I was
Lord.
like, leave her alone.
My
You
Lord.
always joking, you know, with her. I know that was really hard. You know, as far as family.
Jayla is absolutely my heart. We joke a lot. I mess with her a lot, play with her. But anybody that knows me, that know that the center in my heart is that girl. The truth is that the day that I went, I dropped her off at high school because she lives with me, and she lived with me then and live with me now. But I literally dropped her off at high school, and I said, "I love you," and she said, "I said I'll be back to pick you up," and she said, "Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay." And she went into her school. Just it's safe to say that I didn't make it to pick her up that night, and it was one of the toughest times. Is giving her the opportunity to try to navigate through life without me when she's been doing it so often.
Right.
And so when I was in jail, I was teaching people, the men, about the absence of the black man in the community and the home, is that we're leaving our wives, we're leaving our daughters, we're leaving our mothers uncovered. And one of the things that God hates more than anything is for a woman to be uncovered. And so it was tough on me, double jail, knowing that my daughter was out here uncovered. But thank God for great friends and great family members that kind of like stepped up. But it ain't nothing like a girl's daddy.
Right,
you know,
right.
You know that.
Yeah, I love my daddy.
And so soon they opened them doors to that jail. You know, before I stopped at Popeyes, which you miss Popeyes in jail.
Yeah.
Before I stopped at Popeyes, I went and hugged her and kissed her on the face, and I was just so happy to see her, man. That's literally my best friend. She's like everything to me. I joke with her and tell her she ain't pretty, she ain't cracking, she ain't none of that, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day,
gorgeous.
Yeah, she's so nice, man. She's an amazing man. She just got an award, Worth the Wait award. Young lady by the name of Brandy Benefield put together this thing, and gave her an award called the Worth the Wait Award because she teaches and is a strong advocate of virginity for boys and girls, abstaining from sex, saving your body for marriage.
You know what? And they majority of the time focus on the women, but they need to focus on the young men as well, teaching them how
I told her she got to focus
keep
on the boy.
themselves.
Yeah. And it's tough because, you know, if all your friends talking about nothing but sex, boys something about sex, you know, it's hard to say I'm not gonna do it. But thank God for people who for kids like her and other kids that do teach that even to the boys. You know, keep your body, hold your body. That's a precious gift. You know. Sure, young lady who's destined to do some amazing things in life. So
Speaking of being destined to do some amazing things, I am excited about your amazing event you have coming up.
Nice.
But before we go into that, you know, you always have your videos up about family, and you just celebrated a birthday with your sister.
Nice.
And you was like, cry baby. I said, she gonna get you. You better not end up being older and have to go to the nursing home. They gonna have you in there.
My daughter tell me all the time she's not gonna change my pamper when I get older. So you gonna change this pamper.
Right.
Okay, how much it stink, you gonna change my pamper. Might depend. but my sister is my other heart. You know, my ladies in my life is my mama, my sister, and my daughter. And
so it's only two. It's only you and your sister.
Oh no, nigga, it's a lot of us, man. My mama wasn't playing. I got 6 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
but my sister Kia is the closest one to me.
Okay,
now,
is she the baby?
No, she's the baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But and she's the favorite. But she's like my mother too. So it's like she tough on me and I'm tough on her, and you know, and so we got that relationship. So she handled all my business, count all my money. I trust her with everything. You know, so yeah, she's my whole heart. But I'm stricter to family. Yeah, I'm always messing with Kiki. I love you, baby. Cry, baby.
With you being high profile, you know, even though you don't feel that way, you are a celebrity. You know, here in Chicago, and you have a voice. You know, you have over 1 million, you know, people that's supporting you online. You know, so you do have a voice. What would you like to say to the young men, or say to the young women, you know, that's coming up that have a similar story to you, you know, and is looking for a way out?
You know, it's just, you know, you gotta expose yourself. A lot of times we don't understand the dichotomies of life and what we're able to go out and get until we're exposed to it. thank God for Jesse White. Thank God for the Jesse White Tillman team. When I was a little project kid and our rent was $30 a month and we barely had lights on and my mom was messed up on drugs and all that, but then, the week later I'll be getting on a first class flight to go to Korea to flip and be exposed to these different things. So exposure is different. You might not like tilapia when it's fried and say, now you can't just say I don't like tilapia. Well, try it with some lemon and some butter on it and maybe with a little apricot sauce and you might love it. So it's about exposing yourself to different things, and then until you do that, you don't know the possibilities of what you're able to do. And so your greatness is harnessed behind a limited environment. And so once you break out of that environment, it's like a tree can't grow in a building. You put it outside, it got limitless able to grow. And so you got to put yourself literally on the outside of life in order for you to grow. And potential you can actually, and I know it's the potency of people saying this statement as depleted because we say it so much, but you can literally do anything.
You can.
I mean, you can do anything with nothing. And everything you have to do it with is in your hands, in your heart, and inside of you. You don't even need a bunch of money. You ain't gotta be Donald Trump and daddy gotta give him $1 million first. You can do it with them $2 you got in your pocket and just a drive and the energy to get it done. And I promise you, you can make anything happen.
You reminded me, I was on the L and this guy asked me for $2. And for some reason, songs always come to me. So I was like, please let me get $2 and I'm going to ride. Yeah. But it's so good to see you back, into entertainment.
Absolutely.
What was that journey as far as coming back in? You have your event that's coming up with Lil Real and you coming out with a bang.
Hey man, well, I tell you, when I came home, I lost everything. So I came home to nothing, not even a home. I came home to nothing and I just had to rebuild. The truth is, before I went to jail, I was doing parties every week. And that's very, very lucrative because I almost cornered the market with the 30 and over crowd. And it was a mature, sexy crowd, wonderful, beautiful party. But it was just with the mix of alcohol and women and sexual tension and flirtation. I just didn't think it's what God wanted me to do. And it was tough for me to get home and not do a welcome home party. Tough, real hard, because I could have made thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever because people just want to come party with me. But I just tried to change my life with that. So, I had to just be patient and wait. I started working for a wonderful record label called On Fire Entertainment as their marketing director, and so that's wonderful. And then my friend Lil Real is one of the funniest comedians literally in the world, and he just so happened to be one of my best friends, and we talk all the time. And he literally sat down with me about 6 or 7 years ago and said, in about 5 years, Joe, I'm gonna be on TV, I'm gonna be in movies, my comedy gonna be all over the world. And I want me and you to start doing stuff together, like doing my tours and doing my this and that. And so I'm sitting at lunch like, you arrogant, son.
And now 5 or 6 years later.
And now 5 or 6 years later, this guy who was living in Harvey, Illinois, barely had money to pay for our lunch that day. Now he is further than what he prophesied in himself that he was going to be. And so that confidence to speak that into your life and believe in yourself that much, that dude is now on NBC, literally on a channel that the Cosby shows were on an all-black show, and they picked up for their 3rd season. And this guy's on Netflix. I'll go through Netflix and see my best friend's face. And so, but yeah, we're doing a comedy show. We're gonna kick off his tour here in Chicago. He's doing a relevant tour across the country. He wanted to do it at the DuSable, small, intimate place, and that's what he wanted to do. We could have did a big place. He wanted to do a small place, and this is not even about the money. He just wanted to come and tell Chicago a bunch of his new stories and make them laugh. And so we're doing the October 1st at the DuSable Museum. I'm excited about it. Tickets $25. Make sure y'all can get them right now. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. Industry Buzz gonna be in the building. They're gonna do an interview with Lil Real that day, trying to get it set up like right around the sound check so you can do it on stage facing the crowd. I touched the whole thing. I'm gonna set up your stuff for you.
I got you.
Right. But yeah, so it's exciting because I get an opportunity to do that, and then I'm starting my own marketing company. Where we do all things marketing and branding for artists.
So that's where the
companies.
Joe Global Entertainment is coming in.
The marketing, yeah. I'm gonna go into marketing because through these years and through school, I learned a lot about marketing, about branding for churches, for models, for singers, for actors. for photography, anything you need, flyers, posters, commercials. I can get all that done. And so I'm the epicenter of all that stuff for myself. I might as well do it for everybody else and get paid for it. So the Joe Global Entertainment Marketing and Branding is the new company that we just started.
So what's your new focus as we come into the close of our interview? What's your new focus? I know that, you know, in the forefront of everything that you do has always been faith, family, and the future and the legacy that you're carrying. So what's the focus? What to expect?
You know, I just really want to keep people encouraged. I want to keep people laughing. I want people to chase their dreams. That's why all this stuff is kind of predicated around that. My whole Facebook page, people think I'm the silliest guy in the world. And they think,
your relationship posts, I'll be cracking up. It said, if you cried your ex funeral, delete my number.
If we go together and your ex die and you cry, you can't cry. Ain't no crying. No,
I was cracking up.
But the thing with that is that I just post up silly stuff. I'm a funny guy, but I'm mostly serious. I'm not really I'm kind of shy. People don't know that about me. But I really like to just sit home and watch politics. But the truth is, I just dedicate my life to making people laugh, to encouraging people. I have people that inbox me, literally, that says, man, I was going to kill myself. Wow. And then I went on your page and you made me laugh. Thank you so much for that. Or I was going through something with my children, and I watched one of your videos when you were just talking about encouraging people at the park, and you were just talking about this and it helped people. I get literally 3 inboxes a week. I had a friend, one of my lady friends, who was so mad at me. You just like Facebook attention, and you just like for them girls to say this and say that and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, you don't understand that this is kind of almost like a ministry. Yeah. It is. And so it ain't just preaching Jesus, which you'll go on my page, you'll see some Jesus stuff where I go dead end about him. But it ain't just about that. It's the ministry of laughter. It's the ministry of the encouragement. It's the ministry of going through your timeline and people talking about their baby daddy drama and talking about their car just got repoed, and then they come to my page and all they see is either funny or encouraging stuff or me talking about an event I'm going to do. That's all you're going to see. Ain't no drama. I ain't never mad. I ain't never want to fight nobody. I ain't trying to do all that. I ain't got no girlfriend drama because I ain't got no girlfriend. You know,
now, how does that even look? Because, you know, you do so much, so how would you even have time?
I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. When the right one come around here, I'm going to figure it. She gonna fit somewhere. You make time for what you want to make time for.
That's true.
But you know, I just, I'm super crazy picky, you know, and so it just takes time for me to get that together. You got to fit in all parts of my life. Like you got to literally go to the church with me, then leave there, and then go to the club with me, and then you got to leave there. Then you got to go to the crack house, and got to go pick up somebody, one of my cousins who on crack, and drop him off, and then we got to leave there. Then we got to go to the White House because Obama waiting on us. Like literally, so you got to be able to fit in all these different and so everybody's not able to fit in these parts of my life. And I like some people, but I know that you're gonna get frustrated. And when we go to the church conference, and I gotta walk away because I'm with Bishop Morton, and you know, so it's hard to find that. And then you gotta be able to make me laugh, and then you gotta love me enough to, you know, care if I drink water, and it's just so many different things. So I might be lonely for the rest of my life.
No, we're not gonna speak that.
I might buy me some cats.
No,
and some video
somebody
games.
told me that I should give me a dog. No, you're
not
gonna be lonely.
I ain't gonna be lonely.
People like us that have so much love to give, it's out there.
It's out there?
It's waiting. It's
Man.
waiting. It's
really?
waiting. It's waiting.
I wish, because there's some things I miss, y'all.
It's right there. It's waiting.
Some stuff I miss.
Yeah. All you gotta do is open up your eyes and be ready.
that's what it is, man. You know, I don't believe in soulmates. I don't think God ever created that. I think that God, like God did Adam in the Garden of Eden, he didn't even choose Eve for Adam. Adam had chosen herself. He woke up and Eve was there. She was paraded in front of him, and so I'm just waiting for God to send my parade. So I can
praise God, won't he do?
Yeah, won't he will.
Well, you are definitely created to inspire in all facets. So I'm excited about what you have going on. How can people connect to you and stay locked in?
Oh, hit my cell phone at 7. No, I'm just joking.
Don't get out your cell phone. I'm a little like, don't do it.
Just joking. You know, you can find me on Facebook, Joe Starnes, STARNES, or you can email me at JoeGlobal, JoeGlobal @ymail.com. That's my That's my contact information, and you know, all over the place. JoeGlobalEntertainment.com. Whatever you need to do, you can find me. But I ain't hard to find though. I'm like an open book. Or you can just find me at some spot. I'll be out kicking it somewhere. But y'all come to my comedy show with Lil Rail, man. It's October 1st. It's going down. It's cracking, and we'll be in the building. Turn up. Let's go.
Look, I saw you on a video. He was showing me the videos, and when I came out there and I started footworking, I saw.
Oh yeah, I stood up.
Y'all don't know.
I don't understand how people sat down like it was cracking. It was a whole party for a minute, and I'm gonna support you. I want to get up there too.
They're like, hey.
Oh no. Hey.
They don't know about that.
They don't know nothing about that football. That's old school Chicago, man. So no, I'm always encouraging. I always got your back. You know, you was there, man. When I did my first. No, not my first show. But when I did Mr. Brown, my first Christian comedy show, Mr. Brown with the Airy Crown.
I was trying to remember, how did we...
Mr. Brown for Meet the Browns.
Okay.
I did the Christian comedy show, Church People Laugh Too, at the Airy Crown, which was a big thing.
And we met behind the scenes.
And before then, you started, you know, working with me. Then you came and did some interviews behind the scenes. Yeah. But I had, I was nervous because it was the first time that I stepped out to do a Christian-based comedy show at a major theater. And it never happened.
It was crazy.
And it was crazy. And they came and did their thing, and it was amazing. And I made a bunch of money. And I brought some drinks backstage. I did. I ain't gonna lie. If you got an old video when you interviewed me,
I got the video.
I got a drink in my hand.
I have the video.
That's a real drink. But I won't do that no more.
Well, huh? Oh, hey, we all done here. We all done here. But thank you so much for allowing me to peek into your life.
Oh, man.
Telling us the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
When you deal with exceptional people have exceptional highs and exceptional lows. Ain't no middle ground for us. Yeah. So either we're going to be rich or we're going to be broke and eat noodles. It's just that's going to be no ground.
And it's only going to be temporary anyway.
Only temporary. But I know how to make some noodles.
Oodles and noodles, you know the little seasoning salt and the, you know, the butter and all of that stuff.
The key to some noodles now, I still eat them. It's sauces. So I've been buying all these different jerk sauces and
You're a cooker?
sriracha. Yeah, I'm a cooker. I love cooking.
Really?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, my daddy will love you.
Oh, I love to cook.
Yeah,
I'm good at it too.
He love cooking.
Oh, I'm great at it. I like it. I want to meet your daddy.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen. Lutonya main page, it has more supporters on there, but I think we could just, you know, stick with the one that we posted it up on, because that's the supporters page.